So in Edinburgh, the whole it's got very little, the attacks on white farming have been long-standing issue. I don't know if it's any worse now than it has been, although there are political voices obviously that are challenging things. Let me just give this lady a flyer. Can I give you a flyer?
Sure. Thank you. Sure. So what are you on about?
What am I on about?
Flat Earth.
No, not a globe. I'm saying Earth is not a globe.
Okay, so it's not round.
It's not a sphere in the way that you've been taught. Like nothing in nature grows outside of its skin. Apple, orange, bark, shell of an egg. Everything has to have a container. So we say that the Earth is the container. It has a container. We're inside of that container. So imagine I took an apple and I cut it through the middle, or cut it down top to bottom, and it fell open. And inside the core, where the seeds are, that's where we are. And the fruit of the apple is what we call sea and atmosphere. That's the fruit. And then the skin, which is very far away, maybe hundreds of miles high and thousands of miles out to the side. The skin is what they call in the Bible the firmament. Like there's a protective container in which everything is held. But firstly, the water on Earth always finds level. Now I've got here on my flyer, you see here, this is North America. And when you were in school and you asked your teacher for a cut across of North America or England or whatever, she would always draw a straight line, and all the hills and the mountains would be above that straight line. So the sea level that are given for all topography, all topographical maps in the world, use mean sea level. There is only one sea level. So if you're 20 meters above sea level in England, you're the same height as someone who's 20 meters above sea level in France. And we know that we can stand in France and take a photograph back to the White Cliffs of Dover and see the entire White Cliffs of Dover. If we lived on a curving globe, like they say, hundreds of feet would be obscured by the water. Hundreds of feet would be obscured by the water. The world record photograph, Guinness World Record photograph, is 400 kilometers across the water. That's a world record photograph. If the Earth was curving it like a globe, like they say, there should be more than a mile of water obscuring you seeing that shape. So this is our observation. This is our observation. Your friend got a little bit frightened by the tree. What you find is that this belief that we live on a globe, is impregnated at the same time as religion. So people who are in religion or who hate religion still believe that they live on a globe, and still therefore believe that this planet evolved and that humans evolved rather than this was created. That's why they lie, because they don't want us to know that this is a created realm designed for us to have a higher experience, not be slaves. But the globe is a slave mind construct, and it's designed to keep us locked in like a prison. So that's why I go around and say, hey, you can't prove we live on a globe. You can't prove that the sea is bending. And you can't prove that the Earth is spinning.
If we are freedom from globe, what are we going to do?
Sorry?
If we said you freedom from globe, yeah, what are we going to do?
Well,
we go to Atlantic, we live there? It's a cold, man.
Take a flight.
No?
Take a flight.
Very sea life. All right.
Can I give you that?
They're not advertising their events.
So you are sort of kind of telling us some more of a kind of a scientific story, yeah?
Yeah.
In terms of how we got here and how, you know.
Well, for me, there's a divine story, actually, that we were created, that this place was created. And perhaps...
But we were not created by God.
I would say Allah, God, Mother Nature, there is a higher entity here. And it has created this with us in mind so that we could come and explore itself. I say that if there is a God, we are walking inside of it, not on the outside of it. All things in nature must have a container. The fruit must have a skin, the tree must have a bark, a peel, a shell, you name it. Everything must be contained in this world. Your body is contained by your skin. The earth is contained by a firmament, just like it says in the writings of all the ancient texts, that we live inside of a bubble, not on the outside of that bubble. And we are meant to be walking in truth about who we are, rather than enslaved by this system that would demean God and demean you as the creation of God. No worse than if I came to your children and said, you're bad, you're this, you're that. Well, that's what the governments and the religions do in the world, is that they make us into slaves. They make us into less than the express inheritors of God's creations. Water is always going to find level, and you can't find any spin. You can't measure any spin. You can't detect any spin. There's no experiment that shows us.
Reality is no time.
What I mean?
You know, reality is no exist, yeah?
Yeah.
And time is no exist.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah. So this is like a construct, eh? It's not, we believe it's real.
You know
It
Santos
feels
Bonacci?
real.
You watch Santos Bonacci?
Santos Bonacci, yeah.
Yeah? Do you know?
10 years ago I started watching Santos, maybe 12 years
I like
ago.
him. He's got the things.
Yeah, he has
me,
some,
you know, I-
he got some ideas I don't. Hi.
You know?
He has some ideas I don't.
I believe this and I believe in the Quran.
Awesome. Yes, that's right. In the Quran. Yeah. And he says, according to Shamsi, one of the preachers that comes here, he says to me, the Quran says that the sun and moon, they travel over the
Yes,
earth.
exactly.
It's
So,
not the earth that's
of
spinning.
course, our Earth is stationary. The sun and the moon go around it.
It seems like that.
It goes around
Seems
it,
like that.
and the moon it's its own light. It's not reflected. I like the T-shirt. I was actually.
Macabre life.
You know what you're doing is these people. They don't care about when they eat. You think they're going to care about earth shaping? They eat shit.
But just to come and meet a guy like you and say, hey, you're not alone. People are, because there are lights. I'm not the one who decides it. God is maybe the one who decides it. But there are people who, when they hear the message, they do something positive with it. I agree with you. There's a Bible verse, Matthew 24:24 says, at the end of time, the majority will be deceived, even amongst the elect. Those are the words. I like quoting that because
What was that again?
so at the end of times, the majority are to be deceived. Will be deceived.
What says that the Quran? If you follow the majority, they'll lead you astray.
But yeah, you follow the flock. The flock is unfortunately misled. And so when we know that, then we have to kind of stand up and say, hey, over here. But there's a Bible story that you all know, and it's similar. So suppose it's Noah. Noah went to Sodom and Gomorrah, and he said to the people, listen, there's a problem. God's going to wash this place clean. They didn't listen to him.
I don't think it's not a prophet. I think it's not a prophet.
Well, they call it Noah's flood in Christianity.
Is that for Sodom and Gomorrah?
Maybe I'm mistaking Sodom and Gomorrah.
Noah was the one with the flood where they killed the animals, right?
Yeah.
I think Sodom and Gomorrah was another prophet. I don't know.
It might be.
I'm not like you're supposed to remember it.
No, it might be.
Go ahead.
But no, I know that this is not about waking everyone up. This is not about waking everyone up. But it is about saying, hey, over here there's a little bit of a chance, you know what I mean? So where do I look?
It's good that you're doing, man.
I have an online presence, but you know what? YouTube, they took my account away.
Yeah, they're dickheads. They do that. YouTube, of course they're going to do that. Of course they're going to do that.
So they censor, they throttle back flat earth content. They started doing that hard in 2018. So I am a little bit constrained, but there are people who enjoy and are inspired by me online.
Yeah, this is
inspired
good.
by me to come out and they want to do the same.
This is good as well, keep saying physical outside.
From here.
You've heard of Odyssey?
Odyssey and Rumble.
Yeah, you're not.
No, I haven't taken the time, and I should. Yeah, no, it's good.
You made it yourself.
My friend Dan made his Macabre Life. He sells them online. Could I give you a flight? No. You can say a flight.
What you're doing right now is better than everyone else. Literally. I come to defend the Quran. Actually, for the hadith.
Okay.
Have you heard of that? They follow their religion. So what do you see from Islam? What do you think about Afghanistan? It's from hadith.
Yeah, I had Iraqi refugees live with me in 1993, 94 in Cape Town. So I fled from So I had they taught me quite a lot about Quran. So I've always had an understanding of it.
I want to speak to you about how God says it in the Quran. Because there's some shit you really want to know. When I tell you this stuff, you're going to be like, holy crap. Like, I'm telling you, when I give you this information, you're going to be like, whoa, crazy.
That's mine and my wife's contact.
Can I get your phone number instead? So I actually called you like on WhatsApp. I'm not going to spam you none of that stuff. Just want to like, when you're available.
Well, yeah, but I don't have a pen, but you can always email me and I'll send you my phone number.
Alright, cool.
How's that sound?
What's this one for?
This is, if you want to give it to a friend, maybe it's an app for the flat earth.
Really?
It's
That's
got all
cool.
the best content.
Amazing,
So for $3,
That's
you
good.
can sort of get all the it's sort of a library of the best videos. So a mate of mine in America, in New York, he put that together, so I give out his cards every now and then.
Phenomenal. And I see you're very healthy, man. You're skin and
not
shoes.
bad.
That's phenomenal what you're doing.
How old do you think I am?
Let me guess. You're probably 40.
57.
57. Shit. 57.
1968 model. 1968.
Damn. You was taking care of your health properly. You've got rugged hands as well. I can feel it. Yeah. Your teeth is phenomenal as well. I see, man. Because you're going to the truth. God wants you to come to nature and stuff. Not like these people, they wear these beards and the clothes, yeah. They think they're from God. But you're truly from God, like, because if you're connected to God's earth. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's what I'm striving to
Get close to nature, you know?
None of us is perfect, but we try and
When you're close to nature, you're close to God.
Many Muslims have said to me, hey, you're so close to being a Muslim, you might as well be a Muslim. Well, I love it.
They trick you, bro. They'll trick you. Close to being a Muslim, then they'll give you to Hadithism, then you're going to join the cult. You know, if you follow the Quran alone, it's a different story. They don't like us. I don't like to speak with them because they hate me. They truly, they say I'm not Muslim. When they're going against the Quran by saying I'm not Muslim, because the Quran says, of which books other than the Quran are you going to follow? And then they literally follow another book. Insane.
In the Bible it says, judge ye not, lest ye be judged. And I'm sure the same is true in the Quran. Is that I should not pass judgment on you. That's not for me. That's for God, Allah, to say whether or not you're the right man or not. Or maybe yourself. But I don't pass, and the problem is that when I choose a team, Manchester United, Liverpool, then I always have to support that team rather than, we're all in the same game, we're all together.
Alright, just quick advice for me. What is your best health advice? Like, if something that you follow every day, your best creed. Like, because I'm into health and fitness big time, and I'm into barefoot and stuff, you know? I do that stuff as much as I can. Like, this is why I put shoes.
Distill water. Do you distill water?
No, I don't. I just buy from Tesco.
No. You must get a distiller, 100, 200 pounds on eBay or I don't know, Amazon. And you distill, you make your own pure water, as God intended.
So this
It's called a water distiller. And I make my own water for my family. They only drink clean water. We bath in regular water, but we only consume, and you see the dirt that's in your water, even in the bottled water.
So if I get it from the tub and put it in the distiller, is that pure?
Yeah, so what happens is the distiller boils the water, and as the steam comes up, it gets cooled through a cooling hood, and then it drops back out into a catching glass, and it takes about 3 hours to make 4 liters. But once you've got it running twice a day, you've got enough water for your family.
What if we just capture it from the heavens?
Right, perfect.
Yeah?
But the problem with capturing rainwater is that supply isn't daily, and so once you store water, it starts to get green and algae and whatnot.
You're right,
but
you're
rainwater, as God intended, is perfect to drink. It's still clean to drink. Water in fruit is also pure water.
Exactly, yeah.
But distilled water is the only other way to get clean, pure water.
What if you live in the mountains?
I would say that spring water is probably, particularly if it's just been pushed up, it's perfect.
Pushed down, you mean?
Well, no, water actually gets forced up, particularly if you know about the flat earth, is that we live on it with pumping systems beneath us. And,
What systems?
And pumping systems.
Pumping systems.
And so with pressure, water springs are pushed up to the top of mountains and they just keep running over and fill and keep running. That water, what they call spring water, is coming up from underground. It's really
God
good
is
water.
glorious. You see how He's made
Yeah,
the system.
yeah. The whole system is designed for us to be well, and if we can eat clean and stay away from stuff that's been tampered too much, then I think that we can have a long and healthy life. Clean water, clean food, don't use a microwave.
I don't use microwave.
Yeah, try and stay away from too much stress, EMF, stuff like that. And I've actually, by the way, I should look even better than I do, but I've been on the road. I've been on the road without a home for 6 years now. So I've been living place to place, hundreds of different places in many countries. But I've been on the move for 6 years without a home, living out of a suitcase, me, my wife, my little boy, and it's an adventure. But the point is, it's like a harder life than just being at home all the time. But yeah.
What were you saying?
Do you believe in a flat Earth?
I believe in it, yeah. I believe in the Quran, so that God says it's flat. It's flat.
Yeah.
And I've researched this, I'm not just blindly following it.
Yeah, and the term rakia comes up quite often. Rakia meaning to spread or like a tent.
In the Quran.
Well, this is more from the Christian version. There's people talk about rakia, and the rakia is like a hammered out, like a tent. And no tent is a ball. Tents are like a teepee, like this, or flat, or domed, or whatever. So that's
The word for sky is Shemayim, isn't it? Shemayim.
I was listening to some rabbis the other day debating this. Also they were seeing the flat Earth in their ancient teachings. So it's all there, and all the ancient cultures. If you go back a few thousand years, all ancient cultures were like, Earth is flat, it doesn't move, the lights in the sky move around us.
Because they didn't have mass propaganda.
Yeah. But also, I think that the government, they wanted to control people. They wanted to control the masses and demean the creator.
Of course.
And its product.
Of course.
Do you believe in giants?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that giants live
God
on
talks
the
about giants in the Quran. When God...
Bible does too, yeah.
Well, you know when God talks about creatures in the Quran, like the donkey,
Yeah.
These hadith and Muslims, traditional Muslims, they undermine God by saying it's a donkey that we have right now. No. This is different stuff that we have not seen or that have died out or that's in different lands that we have no access to. Like these people, they're hiding lands from us.
I've got a little theory that I want to quickly share with you, which is that we've had 5 epochs. 5.
What's an epoch?
An epoch is like a Noah's flood event. It's like a cleaning slate, right?
All right. So like a purge.
Yeah, purge. And in each epoch, there's a ladybird. Try not to stand on it.
It's very.
I didn't know how you felt. I didn't even see it.
That's what I do. I don't step on stuff. And I tell my daughter, don't step on this
Yeah,
stuff.
my little boy, he's the same. We won't. If we can avoid it, we will.
Even for ants.
Yeah, if we can. But so an epoch is like an event which wipes out majority of people on Earth. Now, each epoch, if you step back, the people get bigger and bigger. So the epoch before, we can still see buildings of that here in London and other cities.
Right? I've seen that as well.
15-foot, 20-foot ceilings. People that are tall would build that, not little men that are shorter than 5 or 6 foot, something like that. They would not build that, right? So that's the one thing. Then you go back further and you start to get into the titans and the giants that they talk about in biblical text. And these are beings that make these trees look like little earbuds. They're so big. They're so big. And so I have this theory that as you go back, things are perhaps less dense, less carbon 666, more ethereal, more air-like, more not as dense as this carbon bodies that we are in now. So almost like they could move around this place, but not in the material form. They could build things like the pyramids, but we can't do that today.
When we talk about these things, right, that humans before us might be superior physically, but God in the Quran does not judge you by your physicality. We could still be superior to them with our righteousness and our soul. So
I'm with you on that.
Because some people, we start to feel like we're inferior, we're not.
Yes, I totally give that. But what like they say 90% of our DNA is junk DNA or something like that, and our brain isn't fully, or 10% of our brain isn't used, all of that stuff, right? That's because partly one, they want to demean us, and two, if I miseducate you, if I poison you, if I put vaccines in you or whatever that then cause your brain to be limited. We talk about fluoride. One of the things that's in tap
Yeah.
water that you don't want to drink
Exactly.
is fluoride.
Yeah,
right.
toothpaste as well.
Yeah, good, because it actually apparently will calcify your pineal gland, which we believe in the center of your
Dumbs you
brain,
down, basically.
which dumbs you down and reduces your contact with God, with the
Exactly, third
Yeah,
eye, right?
third eye.
You know, when I touch my foot, I feel a tingling sensation here.
Right.
Do you feel that?
Yeah, I know this. I
Do you know when
this.
you,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
get your finger closer,
Yeah,
do you feel a
yeah,
tingling
yeah, yeah,
sensation?
yeah.
Why is that?
Because you're getting close to perhaps the energy center, and maybe
madness,
you've got a clean, maybe you've got a clean spirit. Because imagine I'm the bad guy, and I've come to your village, and I want to kind of damage your produce and stuff. I'm going to start putting bad information, bad water, bad food, such that it retards you, it holds you back, it limits you.
That's what
you
they're
know?
doing right now.
That's what they did. So mankind, my people die for lack of knowledge is a well-known phrase, and that's true. And the knowledge has been withheld. What is it? What makes you healthy? What makes you closer to God? These things has been held.
Now
withheld.
AI is even worse, so ruining it even
Yeah.
more.
So we believe that the powers that we have for talking to each other without opening my mouth. Well, you could hear what I was saying because I was talking to you. All of that kind of thing. Maybe even the power to alter frequencies of things such that we could change the density of the rock and I could lift it up very easily. Using frequencies and stuff like that. We have that power, but it's been suppressed.
I think, with the frequencies and stuff, like the internet and stuff, for example, right? They say, like, I've studied computer science, that's my expertise. They say, what they tell us is through satellites or through cables. I don't believe in that. What I believe is jinn. Now,
Yeah.
this is where it comes from the Quran, like, this is jinns transmuting the information.
Yeah.
It's transferred by the jinns. Like, the internet and the AI that we have on our phone, how they're answering questions so quickly. They say, no, it's only algorithms that the humans have made. No, that's for basic stuff. When it comes to super artificial intelligence, real intelligence, like this stuff, internet. Like right now, if I call you, how does the phone call happen?
Yeah.
They say it goes to the satellite and comes back to your phone. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is jinn, I believe it. I haven't got evidence for it. I need to study it more. But I'm in this road where I think it's God made two creatures on this earth. One is human and one is the jinn. They're made from fire. We're made from water, I don't know, clay, whatever. So
I'm going to offer you some additional information to support that. I believe that we live inside of an ether.
what's an ether?
Well, the ether was known by all of science until Einstein said, no, we can't have ether. In order to make the globe or his general relativity work, you have to
Atheism,
get rid of
basically.
ether. The ether is like the soup that we exist in. Without this ether, nothing would live.
The
right?
soup?
Yeah, soup. Like
Soup as in soup.
yeah, like we live inside of a, we can move through it, just like a fish can move
Right,
through
well,
water.
I think I know what you're saying. Sorry to interject, yeah? One day I was thinking about demons and stuff, and then when I was studying it, I was on my bike, I felt something trying to hit me, and then I felt this shield protecting me. I don't know. Maybe it's that.
Okay, so now what happens with your mobile phone is that it finds the nearest tower and it sends the message through the ether because it is that. I believe that it's that what you were saying about the jinn. It resonates with what I believe, which is that we live inside of a living organism.
Yeah.
And that thing has the ability to take my message, pass it that information through the ether.
Okay.
And then reach the nearest tower, and then once it hits the tower, it goes underground to the cables, and then it comes out in America, where it has to go back through the ether to reach my friend's phone. So
Okay, so the ether is this invisible thing that we
it's an
can't see.
invisible thing.
Right.
That
It's here, but it's unseen. The Quran
yeah.
talks about the unseen a lot.
Yeah.
It keeps saying you have to
Yeah.
believe in the unseen. It's one of
look,
the.
you go home and research ether,
Yeah.
and even Nikola Tesla is like, yeah, we have an ether. We live inside
You
of
see
a
Nikola
thing.
Tesla from Serbian guy, yeah?
Yeah, and it propagates. It propagates information through it, whether it be light, sound, or electromagnetic stuff from your
Yeah.
phone. So yeah, we live inside, and I would give it that. I would give it that idea.
They're
that it's
distracting me,
a
by the way,
living
with
thing.
this loudness. It's like
Yeah.
trying to speak. It's a
Yeah.
bit weird.
That's okay. But yeah, I'm fascinated by having met you. So
I'll just give you because we don't have time to actually bring the evidence right here,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But there's something I believe in is the Earth, the center of the Earth connects to the Polaris star, right? And this is where real Makkah is. Makkah from the Quran is there.
Okay.
Not this Makkah where they
okay.
worship black box. God does not tell you to do that.
Yeah.
That's idolatry.
Yeah.
And this place we cannot find it. Like it's outside of Antarctica. There's more lands. That's where it actually is. And I can give you links and videos on this study that it will blow your mind up. Like what the fuck.
Have you heard of rupees nigra? Is that the same
I've
thing?
heard of that as well.
That is said to be like a black rock.
Black rock, black mountain,
Right at,
magnetic,
yeah,
right?
Right at the, magnetic mountain, right
Yeah,
at the center of the Taurus, or the Earth.
You need to. My hair is going up right now, man. I need to give you this information.
Cool.
You're gonna be like, damn, this is a Quran only thing.
It's in Antarctica, there's other worlds.
You'd speak louder, bro. These people are too loud.
Yeah, it's in Antarctica, there's other worlds behind
There
it.
is, definitely there is.
Cities and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm with that theory. I like the idea that they're hiding.
If there isn't, why are they not letting us go there?
yeah,
Why?
Antarctic Treaty. Yeah.
If I don't let you go there,
yeah, I'm
and if I
hiding
make a
something.
wall,
Yeah.
all right, and if what the basic reason, I don't want you to know something. Simple. If,
I'm hiding.
You know what I mean? If you're hiding something in your phone, you don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Simple as that. They say, oh, it's because of your health and safety.
Penguins.
Penguins, Earth, climate change.
Yeah,
You're
we
a
can-
dirty human.
Yeah. We don't mind what's happening in the Middle East. We don't mind what's happening in Russia. We don't mind what's happening in this and that place. We just want to protect the penguins. But yeah, there was that Admiral Byrd. Hey, he went down there and said there's so much, like fuel and stuff like
You
that.
believe in like mermaids and stuff like that. Mermaids.
I don't know about that, bro. Mermaids.
I think the possibility that there were beings that we wouldn't necessarily recognize. in
Creatures
past,
under the water, yeah.
You know, and that when we sometimes they find fossils of things and they say that's all dinosaur. Well, it might be creatures that perhaps we don't recognize today. Because we get these old maps from the 1600s where they would also often draw these like really weird creatures.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, okay, well, they're just doing that for cartoons, or are they actually showing things that they've seen there? You know?
Do you guys want to make a Telegram group so we can just exchange information?
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yeah, do that.
Do you want to join it? Let's make a Telegram group.
Sure, yeah.
It's not cult, it's not some organization. You don't have to believe in the same stuff, right? We just share findings,
Yeah.
and then
sure.
if we have evidence for it, or we can go and try to find evidence for it. Like, I want to go in Antarctica. I want to do that. I want to actually get rich, get a jet, go and penetrate that place, go see what's up there. I
Well,
wanna do
people
that.
get turned away. You know, we've had videos of people being turned away
Of
trying to get
course.
through. So, and even like the most famous British explorer called Ranulph Fiennes, Sir Ranulph Fiennes, he tried to walk across one peninsula. It took him 5 years. I met his crew. It took him 5 years to get permission to walk across one peninsula. He never made it. He never did it.
Let's make a group. You have to give me a number so
Yeah.
we can make. Do you want to give exchange numbers? Yeah. He's my brother, by the way.
I'll type it in so I don't have to say it on camera.
One thing takes to cut the boy. One thing he has lied upon in his study. He said he had to start first thing without the complete light and so evidence that they want to do it for that. Take it says, and he agrees with it.
Your number? 575.
How you guys doing? Why is it saying that?
David.
Can you guys see this okay?
Are you Christian?
I'm all about
You guys see, it says camera orientation blocks.
you reject them like this.
Of course, you have to reject Muslims, but I reject Harry Potter. Might be nice, might be you guys get information. You might really help them, I'll make a group. You're Dave. David.
Hi guys. Hey, how you doing?
Doing well, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
You got from Westfall.
Yeah.
You have bluff. We met before the war.
Oh, right. Pine Town, actually, more accurately, but yeah. Okay. Hi, how you doing? Good. Have you seen
Keep
this?
searching for the
Oh,
truth,
good.
learn how to think.
Is it possible we could let people see my whole
This
artwork
is phenomenal
there?
stuff.
Thanks, man. I need to tie this one up a little bit.
Let me do it, I'll do it.
Thank you. Take my flyer. I got a new flyer made. My 8-year-old boy helped me make it. I'm not sure if you